This college student rushed into class after being late, and it actually changed his life. George Danzig noticed that there was 2 difficult problems on the board after arriving into class late. He quickly wrote them in his notebook, just assuming that they were homework assignments, and after going back to his apartment, he began trying to solve these problems. However, this wasn't just an ordinary assignment. You see, George was used to hard work, so he spent a lot of time on these problems that seemed pretty difficult, and before the next class, he placed the assignment on his professor's desk and successfully turned them in. About a week later, the professor asked to see George one-on-one as soon as possible. George thought that he was in trouble, or maybe he was gonna get scolded at the fact that he turned in homework late. But what happened next honestly sounds too good to be true. As it turns out, the problems that the professor wrote on the board, the best mathematicians couldn't solve. And yet, George did it as a college student. Since George figured that it was just homework, he wanted to work hard to solve it so that he would get credit regardless. The reality is, he just solved problems that no one else was able to do, and even turned it in as his thesis at the end of the semester. Fast forward a few years later, and a mathematician tried to solve the same problem that George did in college just prior. And after realizing that George completed it before him, George was then credited in his work as a co-author, without even ever meeting George face to face.